Hello friends, my name is Ishal Mansoori. Today we will study about inventions. An old proverb says necessity is the mother of invention. It means if something becomes necessary, something new is invented. मतलब जब कोई चीज़ ज़रूरी हो जाती है तब कोई नया आविष्कार होता है. What made the invention of the steam engine, paper, radio, or antiseptics necessary? Could we have managed without them? So let's start now. Since the time early human beings invented the wheel, human beings have made slow but steady progress. There have been some ideas that have significantly changed the world, bringing drastic changes in our way of life. Let's talk briefly about early scripts. Early human beings had first learned to draw on cave walls. Then they learned to write. The earliest scripts were pictograph, means by drawing pictures. Other scripts also developed. However, books were not common till paper and printing were invented. The concept of counting also developed ages ago. The number shunya or zero and the decimal system of calculating were invented in India. From ordinary counting to binary calculations of computers, we have come a long way. Let us have a look at some of these major inventions that have completely changed our world. First is paper. The Chinese are credited with the invention of paper in the 2nd century BCE. The Egyptians used to make a kind of paper from papyrus reeds that grew on the banks of the Nile. All early paper was handmade. The material used for making paper comes from wood, some kinds of grass, rags, bamboo, and so on. Waste paper is also recycled and made into fresh paper. Second is printing press. Johannes Gutenberg, a German printer, is given the credit for inventing the method of printing with movable metal type. In 1455, he produced his first 42-line printed Bible in Gutenberg's method. Each letter was cast on a separate piece of metal and assembled by hand. We have advanced from Gutenberg's method to linotype and then to phototypesetting, and now books are easily available to everyone. Did you know, until the 1440s, most books were copied by hand in Europe. Thus they were rare and expensive. Gutenberg's invention made books cheaper. One of the greatest advantages of books is that the knowledge gained by one generation can be passed on to the next. If books are available easily, it will help increase literacy. Third is steam power. Another important invention was the discovery of steam power. The earliest steam engines were used to pump out water from the mines. James Watt improved upon these engines to use steam power for running machines in many mills. Did you know it is said that James Watt got the idea of steam power when he saw the lid of a kettle on the boil being lifted by steam. George Stephenson harnessed steam power to locomotives that could pull coaches, and thus came the first railways. Steam ships and ocean liners replaced sailboats in the 19th century. Fourth is textiles. Clothing has always been a basic requirement of human beings. Cotton was once always hand spun and hand woven, but Both processes were time consuming. Ellie Whitney's invention of the cotton gin made this job easy. Then James Hargreaves invented the spinning jenny. These inventions made the spinning and weaving of cotton quicker. When the British came to India to trade, they sent back raw cotton to the cotton mills of England for processing. Fifth is telecommunication. Before postal services were introduced, the only means of communication was by letters sent through personal messengers which only the rich could afford. Telecommunication means the sending of messages through electromagnetic means such as radio waves came much later. These new inventions include the telephone, telegraph, radio and television. The telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell and Elisha Gray in 1876. The telegraph was invented by Samuel Morse, who thought of a method of dots and dashes to send messages through electrical signals. Marconi gets the credit for the radio by which sound is transmitted by electromagnetic waves. In 1926, John Logie Baird invented the television by which picture and sound were telecast or broadcast. Now color television, cable TV and direct-to-home DTH services have become very common. We are able to see events as they are happening from all over the world. This is possible by communication satellites made by human beings and stationed in outer space. Did you know the first Russian satellite, Sputnik, was the size of a mere football? Next is rockets. Firework rockets of the kind we burn at Diwali were known to the Chinese from the 13th century and have been used in wars since then. The first liquid fuel rocket was made by R.H. Goddard in 1926. Intercontinental ballistic missiles (ICBMs) were made soon after. Later, space rockets successfully zoomed out into outer space. Viking space probes have also been sent to Mars. Seventh is computer. The principles behind the modern computer were first thought of by Charles Babbage in the 19th century. When IBM made its first machine, the machine was large enough to fill a room. Computers are becoming much smaller now with increased capabilities and faster speed. PCs, personal computers, laptops, and even palm tops have been invented. Modern computers do calculations at very high speeds. Email has made communication very fast and easy. Computers have now become a part of our everyday life. Now we will discuss advances in the field of medicine. Remarkable advances have been made in the field of medicine and surgery. Edward Jenner discovered vaccination against smallpox. Today, vaccines effectively prevent diseases such as cholera, typhoid, polio, tetanus, and tuberculosis. Louis Pasteur discovered a vaccine to prevent rabies. He also found a way to make milk germ-free. This process is called pasteurization. Any surgery presented a great hazard in early days. Patients used to develop infections after operations and die. To solve this problem, Joseph Lister discovered the first antiseptic. Now surgery is performed in aseptic operation theatres. Anesthetics are used to make surgery painless. Sir Alexander Fleming discovered a drug called penicillin which can prevent the growth of bacteria, and can cure many diseases. Many more antibiotics have been discovered since then. Many instruments have been invented to help doctors and surgeons, such as clinical thermometer to check our body temperature, stethoscope to listen to the sound of heartbeats and blood flowing through the lungs, microscope for blood tests, X-rays are taken to study bones, ultrasound scans and magnetic resonance imaging (MRI) are taken to study the internal organs and tissues. All this has been possible because of inventions and discoveries. This video is for general knowledge and is beneficial for all. Please like, comment, share and subscribe.